Hi, I'm Dr. Chris Samuels, and this is part 5 of He's Not Going to Be Perfect. We've spent our first 4 videos talking about his recovery, what it looks like, what phases to expect, what red flags to watch for. But here's what I want you to understand. Your healing cannot depend on his recovery succeeding. If your well-being is contingent on him recovering perfectly, you're in an impossibly vulnerable position. Today, we're going to talk about how to protect yourself and maintain your own healing regardless of what he does. It means not falling into the recovery monitoring trap. After betrayal, many partners fall into constant monitoring. Did he go to his meeting? Is he really where he said he was? What's on his phone? This is all completely understandable. You're trying to protect yourself from being blindsided again. The problem is this monitoring becomes a full-time job that keeps you in constant anxiety. It prevents your own healing, and it doesn't actually create safety. Instead, it keeps you trapped in his addiction, and it damages your sense of self. Here's the brutal truth. If he's going to act out, your surveillance won't stop him. It'll just make him better at hiding. You're sacrificing your mental health, physical health, other relationships, your sense of self, all for a monitoring system that isn't working and may be making things worse. The shift you need is from how can I make sure he recovers to how can I heal and build a meaningful life regardless of what he does. Start with building your own foundation. First, get your own therapist who specializes in betrayal trauma, not a generalist. Someone who understands the specific trauma of sexual betrayal and won't minimize what you're experiencing. A good betrayal therapist understands that your trauma symptoms are normal responses, not overreacting. Your healing has its own timeline, separate from his recovery. Setting boundaries isn't controlling, it's appropriate self-protection. And you're not obligated to stay or support his recovery. Second, join a support group, Ethnon, COSA, therapy groups for partners, spaces where you can talk honestly with people who truly understand. Your regular friends, no matter how supportive, probably can't fully grasp this. In a support group, you don't have to explain. They get it. Third, focus on your own healing, separate from his recovery. Even if he achieves perfect sobriety tomorrow, you still need to heal from the trauma of discovery, the violation of trust, the gaslighting, and the questioning of your own judgment, the loss of the relationship you thought you had. This healing work is yours regardless of what happens with him. Here are some of the useful actions you can take. Let's start with the need to create boundaries that protect you. These are the most essential ones. Emotional boundaries. You're not responsible for managing his emotions about his addiction. If he's drowning in shame, that's for his therapist, not you. You're not his therapist or his mother. Physical and sexual boundaries, your body, your choice, always. You decide when or if you're ready for sexual intimacy. Never let him pressure you to resume sexual activity before you're ready. Time and energy boundaries. How much of your life are you willing to give to his recovery? Maybe you establish we can discuss recovery Sunday evenings for 1 hour. The rest of the week, I need to focus on my own life. Some information helps you make decisions. Some just overwhelms you. Ultimately, what does your healing look like? Your healing might involve trauma-focused therapy, rebuilding trust in yourself after being gaslit, rediscovering who you are beyond partner of sex addict, reconnecting with your body, yoga, dance, movement, massage, developing your own interests and relationships, building a life that works for you, whether the relationship survives or not. I worked with a woman who realized 2 years into her husband's recovery that she'd put her entire life on hold. She stopped painting, turned down a promotion, stopped traveling, all because she was consumed by monitoring him. I asked her, what if you built a life you loved, regardless of whether his recovery succeeds? That question changed everything. Here's the hardest reality, and I need you to hear this. You can do everything right, set perfect boundaries, support his recovery, work on your own healing, and the relationship still might not survive. Sometimes the damage is too severe. Sometimes, even with his perfect recovery, trust can't rebuild. Sometimes you realize you've fundamentally changed and don't want this relationship anymore. And all of those outcomes are legitimate. You don't owe him your mental health. I've sat with many partners who feel guilty for considering leaving, even though he's really trying now. And I say, trying is good, but trying doesn't obligate you to stay. If the damage is too severe, if your well-being requires leaving, that's legitimate. You don't owe him your mental health or your life. Here's the both and truth. You can love him and leave if the relationship isn't healthy. Recovery is possible, and many people don't achieve it. You can stay and maintain boundaries that protect you. His recovery matters, and your healing matters more. Hope is valuable, and reality is necessary. As we come to an end, let's focus on what you deserve. You deserve honest love, emotional intimacy, a partner who takes full responsibility, genuine care about your well-being, to feel safe in your relationship, and a life that brings you joy and meaning. Whether you find that in your current relationship or in your life after this relationship, you deserve it. What's next in part 6, our final video? We'll put everything together, making decisions about your future, balancing hope with reality. Subscribe for part 6, and remember, your happiness and your healing matter just as much as his recovery. Never forget that. I wish you well.